of course, I did my research, and you were a wrestling fan. You started like a lot of us. You saw it on TV. You fell in love with it, but you later started training with Boris Malenko. And I saw on another interview, you said that the Malenkos are the very best. And I want to ask you, what specifically makes the Malenkos the best in your opinion?
That is a excellent question. It sounds cliche to the fans, maybe to yourself, maybe to George, but not to me, because that's awesome. I'm glad you asked that. And it's night and day.
Personally, Dean Malenko was actually one of my favorites for a long time. And as a fan, not being in wrestling, people would always say, well, why do you like Dean Malenko? And I'd say, I don't know why. There's just something about him. I think he's great. I don't know all the things that happen in the ring and stuff. So there's just something about him that I was always drawn to, seeing him compete. And so it's always interesting to hear someone like yourself who's worked with him, but also understands wrestling, that can kind of break down why he seems great to a viewer as opposed to someone else in this wild world of pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything about him or the Malenkos that in the ring, when you're watching, that you would watch and say that is what makes them great?
Well, yeah, just both of them. I mean, all three of them. Their strive for greatness, their perfection, dotting every I, crossing every T, keeping all the ducks in a row, tell a great story. Basically, they're the perfect wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And I strive myself to be that way also. I mean, Dean Malenko is probably the best technical wrestler in the world. I'm not going to say I'm number 2, but I'm at least in top 10. And I'm not putting myself over. If I was, because I'd be the only one putting myself over. Nobody else is. But yeah, they're perfectionists. Their moves, their holds, their submissions, everything you could think of to do in a professional, they check every box. Make a long story short. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think I do too. I